Hello guys, we have the Samsung Galaxy camera here, which is basically first of its kind, bringing together professional photography and Android Jelly Bean together. Like most cameras, it has a shutter key that lets you take pictures, a slider that lets you zoom in and zoom out, and we'll talk more about the zoom of this camera in the video ahead. So there's a shutter key to take pictures, a power and lock key just like Android smartphones, works the same way, and then there's the flash, which does a phenomenal job of taking really high quality bright photos even in the dimmest of lighting conditions. This device is a 16 megapixel camera with a xenon flash. It runs off a 1.4 GHz quad-core processor and 1 GB RAM. It has a 21x super long zoom, which, believe me guys, is simply superb. Now the device is supported by a 1650 mAh battery, which I somehow believe is not enough for this device. Any which ways, going deeper, it's got an HDMI port so you can connect it to your television or your computer monitor. You've got a SIM card slot and a micro SD card slot so you can expand this to 32 gigabytes of memory. On one of the edges, you've got a 3.5mm headphone jack and a USB 2.0 data syncing and charging port. The display of the Samsung Galaxy camera is a 4.8-inch super clear LCD, which basically means great natural looking color reproduction and amazingly wide viewing angles, which is very critical from a photography standpoint. The display supports a resolution of 1280 by 720 pixels. The Samsung Galaxy camera is running the Android Jelly Bean, which is basically Android 4.1, and it is layered on top with Samsung's TouchWiz interface. Now, as you can see, that the screen transitions are very smooth, and that's the good thing about Jelly Bean. They've implemented Project Butter, which makes all screen transitions and animations really smooth, very fluidic, and it's really just very pleasant to use. So when you pinch and zoom, or just when you're flipping through different home screens or app screens, look at that. It's really smooth. Even scrolling is great. So let me just take you into settings. So that's just downloaded. So whatever you download comes in that list, which is a new addition. Anyway, now when you click on menu, you've got these default options that you've seen in Galaxy Note 2 as well. So let's go to settings and let me scroll down, and you would see how smooth the scrolling is. Look at that. It's great. I'm loving it. Anyway, so about device, and there you go, right there, Android version 4.1.1 Jelly Bean. So let's go inside the stock camera application, and when you press that, the zoom lens in front of the camera comes out. Now the good thing about Samsung Galaxy camera is that you don't have to use a DSLR, and all professional shooting modes and scene modes are already embedded in the stock camera application. So let's go into casual, and there you go. You've got these various settings: smart night or best face, beauty face. These are all enhancements, and burst shot. You've already seen that in Samsung Galaxy S3. So now basically what happens is when you select one of these modes, it understands what you want to do, and there's a description on the left hand side that helps you understand. Now with Smart Pro, this is really the unique selling point of this device. Instead of owning a DSLR camera and knowing settings for different lighting conditions, you don't have to remember them anymore. You just come in here and you select one of these, and it does the processing at its end to fix things for you or take good pictures. Now there's a manual mode. So for all those DSLR lovers out there, I'm not sure how much you're going to love this, but basically you've got the power to change various settings. So whether it is the ISO settings or the white balance modes, aperture, shutter speed, so you've got it all there. So and it's got a really nice interface. So when you're moving things, it's really superfluous. It's very smooth. So these are different exposure settings depending on lighting conditions, dark or bright. You can change them. All screen animations are really smooth, and again, a lot of fun to use. So yeah. Now when you go inside the settings, so there's an arrow, and when you click that, you get a variety of things that you can do. So you could share all your pictures via various options right there. You can this is the voice commands that you can give to the camera. So when you're away from the camera, you can just use those to take pictures or zoom in and zoom out. So there's slow motion, which is kind of new thing, and you can obviously record at different frame sizes. You've got a self-setting timer, and well, that's just flash. You can switch it on or off, but there's a manual button for that. And settings. So when you go into settings, you really just can change the the resolution that you're shooting at. You've got all these features that you can enable or disable, and again, a variety of things. So shutter sound, beep. You've got guidelines, well, for people who follow rule of thirds, really useful for those people. So you've got GPS tagging, voice control on or off, and you've got a power on mode, whether you want to set it in auto or you want to change it manually. Apart from that, these are wonderful effects, and I've used them, and I'm a big fan of these settings now, these effects. They are really good, and I'm going to put up some sample pictures that you can see. These are real-time effects, and when you put them or when you choose them, you can actually look at the picture before you take a shot. So I've had a lot of fun with these things, and you just have to try this to know more. Anyway, so this is a quick review of the Samsung Galaxy camera. Stay tuned for more, and I'm going to put up some sample pictures. Wait for it.